we go.
The poem goes like this. There be none of beauty's daughters with a music like thee, and like music on the water, it is thy sweet voice to me. When as if its sound were causing the charmed oceans pausing, the waves lie still and gleaming, and the lulled winds seem dreaming. And the midnight moon is weaving her bright chain o'er the deep, whose breast is gently heaving as an infant's asleep. So the spirit bows before thee to listen and adore thee with a full but soft emotion like the swell of summer's oceans.
What's the message of this poem?
Well, I actually couldn't get it on the first try, so I had to look it up. It's supposed to be, when Lord Byron, it was for his daughter. But it's supposed to be regarding singing, but it was also in cause of her death.
Oh.
So it's that he's sad in the beginning, the first, I forget what you call it, the first section, first stanza. And then the second stanza, it's that he's happy that she's now peaceful, and that she's lying, she's as peaceful as the water.
Right.
And so I kind of portray that in the music. It's supposed to be more ride style, but sad.
More ride style? What's that?
It's in percussion. We have ride, where it's like it's where you use dotted eighth notes. Yeah, swing in a style. But it's with how the chords go in with each instrument. It does sound more mournful. And then after you have I think it's the decrescendo in the music. When you get to the half notes, it's either a decrescendo or a crescendo. And it turns into 16th notes. That's where it gets to the second stanza.
It's much more peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
I know that right away, Karen's going to have a question.
Well, it's just with the rhythm. I can try to do it, obviously running my 16ths through, but I can already see in the second measure it looks like it's 1/16th note short. It's just
at the end, I'm pretty sure I edited at the very end. There's a 16th note there.
In the second measure?
Or in the first measure. The second measure.
Yeah, the second measure has 16, so that's good. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I need one more 16th note in that second bar.
Oh,
we can just try to read it, and I'll do my
I think it's a dot. I think it's a dot.
You wanted that last one done? Okay.
And so one of the things about a percussionist's sense of rhythm is that they hear the minutest, they go down to the 16ths and they can hear the 16ths. This is not how a clarinetist reads rhythms, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, yeah, we can. It's just not, it's going to feel very, it's just not how we normally see rhythm in our...
And how we talked about this, and could you write up, go up there and write on this, on the blackboard, just the first couple of brackets of instruments of rhythm in the clarinet part.
You mean like how it's supposed to sound, or
no? Just as it's notated. You can take the score from right there. Just so that everyone can see. I'm assuming there's only one score, so no one else can see that.
So I'll just say this is treble clef.
Are you going to be posting these to the website?
Yeah. That was the goal, and last time I didn't do it because I forgot to bring the flip camera. This time I brought the flip camera. That'll be helpful. I know.
Is that okay?
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you guys. I'll see you probably in a week.
We're going to get through everything. Yeah. It's going to start rolling here pretty soon because we start repeating the same thing over and over again. But thank you for that.
It's your part.
It's really difficult to do.
2/16 tied
Right,
together.
exactly.
I'm just going to do that right. I'm just going to do that right now, but I want to get it up there.
No,
so everyone can
perfect.
see.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then we can see.
Then you see the subdivision.
Yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
You want me to have a pen? You go sit down. I'll just go up here. The notation for this, and you should check with me. Tell me I'm doing this wrong if it's wrong. But you've got 16/16ths. This is 16th year, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that's a dotted thing. We were talking about the second measure. It's a dot. So I'm going to quickly write. This is a the rhythm here is.
I hear it's dotted on that one.
Wait a second. I want to do this. It's a little tricky. You have to see the beats. Is that how you would see the first bracket here is, you see a beat here is bracketed, here's a beat that's bracketed.
Right, then you can.
And then you can see the beats. So you go ba da beep ba 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 like that. And then the next one is an eighth note, and we have a time like this. Let's see if that's right. No, that's not right. This one is eighth note, 16th note, eighth note with there like that. If that makes sense. These are eighth notes. Yeah, these are eighth notes. So that's how this would normally be notated. Normally meaning the easiest way to read this rhythm. It looks like da 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 da. Oh, that's a tie. Sorry for the B's.
Being able to stand those 4 beats is helpful.
You need to be able to see the brackets as beats. You see how the beats are bracketed, and so it's easier, especially in a sight reading situation, to say if you know this piece inside and outside. It might be okay to do it that way, but it's really much better to use the brackets to define the beats. And then if there's ties and rhythm and syncopations, as it is in the 4th beat here, that's a 16th, an 8th, and a 16th, which is da da da. But it's tied from before, and those are 2 8th notes, so it's da 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 da, like that.
And I would think too with score writing, to be able to see the alignment
of all of these parts with your part.
Right.
So having a quarter note and an eighth note and a half note, it needs to show up so that especially any 4/4 measure you should be able to see everything in 2 beats, lining up in 2 beats. Sometimes for example, you could have underneath the first 2 beats here, I don't know what's in the bassoon part, but you could have,
quarters.
well, I'm just going to say you could do something like this, where you've got an eighth and a quarter and an eighth. You would show that it's not, you don't necessarily have to show every eighth note. You don't have to tie this over to an eighth note like this. You could do eighth, quarter, eighth, and that would be fine. But again, you have this little bifurcation of the measure, so that the first 2 beats have to be lined up and the last 2 beats have to be lined up. And you have to be able to show that to the eye, because when we're talking about sight reading, this is what we're talking about. You can see it. Let's try it. Now, what's the tempo on this?
It's 60 beats per minute, and it's supposed to be flowing.
One, two, three,
I have
four.
quarters in the first.
You can just keep doing that.
I get it.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll just go.
Now, that's good. I think you did really well with the great. Did you feel like the emotion was what you had expected?
At the beginning it was, and
Towards the end?
yeah, towards the end it was. The middle seemed kind of rushed almost a little bit.
Turbulent, lots
Yeah.
of, it's because there's so many, there's counterpoint going on,
that's-
and there's lots of notes going on, so it's hard to sort of sense, where is that in the poem, by the way? Is that the beginning of
That's
this?
right here.
And the midnight moon is weaving her bright chain o'er the deep, whose breast is gently heaving as an infant's asleep. So that's the part that you were saying, there are lots more 16th notes going on.
Yeah, yeah.
So could we do the articulation slightly different?
maybe more flowing in a way.
Could you do at
At the
least?
opening?
No,
No,
Or are you talking the
I think
ba, ba,
where it
ba,
goes, where you have the
16th
accents
notes.
on the eighth notes.
Yeah.
16th notes.
The
Yeah.
16th.
Thank you.
Measure whatever that measure is. I can't even
10, I
tell.
think.
Measure 10. We take it from 10 and try
Do you want the
to
eighth notes also
do
legato?
each beat gets slurred. Just try to do.
Okay. Tia.
D, D,
Okay.
D, D is like that.
Alright.
2, 3, 4. That's-
The
that-
longer tonguing, like have them slur and me just
Yeah.
legato tongue the
I thought that
eights.
what you were doing is really
more like
quite
the
effective.
basso
It needs to be
continuo
more
type part, yeah.
dolce and more
Yeah.
more legato
Yeah.
all the way through there.
Uh-huh.
Does that do what you're looking for? No.
No.
Then
It's-
Do you want it just to go slower?
No, it's, the slower seems like it would just be too, like it's not joyous enough. For
So what do you think is the thing
the,
that
I think the legato, or the more legato is best.
is best? Okay. All right.
Also, I'd put the bassoon on the root of the chord at the end. Sounds a little funny, I think, to.
Not for now. We're going to move on to the next number. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
Put your flats at the beginning of the bar.
And then carrying the flats down on the lines.
All- yeah.
would be great.
You need to have the treble clef on every line and the key signature on every line. That would be very helpful. And I think that the numbering of measures is very helpful, though. I
Yeah,
thought.
Yeah, that
definitely,
was
that's
very
very
I think that makes a
Yep.
huge difference,
Yep.
so that's
Like
great.
that, like that.
Next piece, John Kramer. There you go, I'll pass it over. Can you tell us a little bit about your poem?
Maybe it's time.